In this video, we're going to look at how to understand job adverts. We're going to have a look at a few job adverts and try to identify what the job will be like, what skills that employer is looking for, and if it's a suitable graduate role, and what kind of application process you would need to use in order to apply for roles. So, to start looking for jobs, why wouldn't you go to the University of Bradford Careers Service website? And when you go on there, if you go into the for current students section, you can see this find a job page. And through here, you'll see that we host our job adverts on Handshake. When you've logged into Handshake, this is what Handshake would look like. This is also the place that you can book appointments, book onto events, and create your own profile so that employers reach out to you. So I'm on Handshake, and if you click into the jobs section, this is what it looks like. And we advertise lots of different kinds of role on here. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do when you're on a graduate job hunt is to click this full-time job button at the top. It's likely as well that you'll want to change the location to wherever it is that you would like to work. And on here, one of the things that you can do is rather than having to think of lots of different job roles and job titles, which it will suggest for you, you can also simply search by industry. And when you've done that, it will show you your results here. When you've done that, and you found a role that you think looks interesting, the next step is to, moving from just looking at the job title, decide whether that's something that really is right for you. So on this page, I have already performed a search for a chemical engineer role, which you might think would be quite a straightforward search. And Handshake says that it's found 20 roles available. But if we look at the first one here, it's for a research associate. So if I go in here and have a look through the description, you see there's lots of information about the employer itself, some information about the salary and so on. And then if we come all the way down, we find this bit that's really important. And this is the section where they say what they need from you. And we see here that they're looking for a graduate in a few different areas. And then right at the bottom, it says that candidates with a PhD would be desirable. So reading sections like this is the time for you to decide, do I meet all of those requirements or do I not? And if you don't, then you just move on to the next role. So then if we look at this one instead with EDF, we can do the same thing. You'll see that you have the opportunity on Handshake to message the person at the employer site to see if they think you're a good match before you go through a full application. So that's an advantage of using the Handshake system. And if we go through, again, lots of information about what you'd really be doing. And then if we keep going further down, we've got more information about where you'll be. And then finally, we get this what you'll need to apply section. And you can see here, it says there's certain degree topics that you would have had to have covered and some other things as well. So some key skills that they're going to want to be able to see when you apply for roles, as well as that particular degree. And then underneath, this is also really useful information. It says we use a strengths-based selection process to see what you enjoy. And it also says that you can find tips and advice about that process on their graduate web pages. So that would be something to have a look at if this was a role that you were interested in applying to. So that's Handshake. As well as Handshake, you might want to use some other places to look. So lots of people like to use more than one job search site. A really popular one is LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn, if you go through, you can see I've recently searched the word community, and we've got here, put community, and it's a search in Bradford. Now, what you can see here is that the default on LinkedIn for location is quite a long commute. So for you thinking practically, if you don't drive or you don't live near good transport links, you might want to amend that. And another thing you can do on LinkedIn, and you can see it's already been done here for me, is you can change the search filters to only show entry level and internship roles. You could also click associate as well, as that can include graduate roles. But it means that any roles that are from later in your career, you can skip and you can have a look at the results that come up. And then again, it's going to be a case of having a look in the jobs. And this one's a good example of a poorly formatted job advert. It's quite hard to skim read. So we can see if we try and skim through it, we've got some information about what the job is. And then we can see here, this paragraph is the one where they're saying what they need from you. So you have to already have some experience in a school, and then they've got some skills they're looking for: forward thinking, engaging and resilient, and some qualifications that they need for that job as well. So a good example of one that's quite hard to read, but they have explained what they would like in a strong applicant there. So then if we continue to scroll further down, this one's a familiar employer to us working in the career service here. Let's have a look at this role here at Manningham Housing Association. So if we look at this, you see again, we've got some description, we've got some information about what the job would be like here, all very interesting, and we've now got the person here. So this part here is what they are looking for. And it says here that you must be passionate and what you'd be doing, but it doesn't say can meet the essential criteria as advertised. Whenever you see a sentence like that, that's a hint that there's probably somewhere else you need to read more about the job. So let's have a look. I'll click that link there and you can see I'm out of LinkedIn and we're on that job page. So here's the role we were looking at. And if I keep going a look through here, we see this looks very familiar to the one that we were looking at before. But for full details of the job, look at this job description. And it's opened up a full job description. You see this is a much more formal document, and yep, at the bottom, as expected, there's something called a person specification. So this is a really common style of job advert for charities, for local councils, for education settings, and also for healthcare. So if that's an area that you're thinking of applying to, you will probably come across job adverts like these. It might look a little bit overwhelming at first, but these are really helpful because this is a really clear list of what they need from you in order to shortlist you. So skimming down this list is again either you thinking, I have all of that and I'm going to apply, or thinking, this isn't something I can do yet with my career. I don't meet enough of this criteria. And if that's the case, again, it's time to move on to the next job advert. So you can start to see that searching for roles could take quite some time. Just wanted to show you one more place that can be nice to search on, and that's prospects. So if we go onto the prospects site and press right at the top into jobs and work experience to search for graduate jobs, you'll see that it brings up a form for you to complete of what you're looking for. And for me today, I'm just going to click a few here, and I will also just have a look at the location. Let's have a look more locally. Let's see what's available. This website is one that always takes a little bit of time to load, but oh, we've got quite a lot of jobs here, 125. So not all of these will probably be interesting. Let's just see. If I go into type of work, let me filter it more to graduate jobs and graduate schemes. The difference between those is that a graduate scheme is normally with a really big employer that might have some more training available. So we've narrowed this down a bit more. So we've got 74 jobs. So you see there's lots of variation there. So let's have a look at this finance one, just again to see how we can identify what's available. So we're starting to see a familiar pattern. We've got the description of the role, what you'd be doing, a bit about the company, some information about what training they have to offer, lots of benefits there. And then here we are, what are we looking for? So you can see they've got a minimum 2 degree, particular degree topics that they're looking for. They've also got some skills that they need as well. And if I keep scrolling, yes, they've got a how to apply section. And you can see for this one, it says to complete the questions and upload them with your latest CV. So it's going to be maybe a little application form and then to upload your CV. It's important to note those differences. If we go back to our list of jobs, so yes, we were there. So Lidl is a name everybody's heard of. Let's have a look at their opportunity for graduates. So if I go into here, again, similar structure, what the job is, then they've got what we're looking for. You can see this is a little bit of a longer list. You see there's lots of skills here. Same again that it's a 2 degree, but this is in any discipline. And if I go further down, how to apply. So it says online exercises, and it says there's somewhere you can practice those. And then there's a video interview and a face-to-face assessment centre. From looking through these job adverts, it's clear to see that it will take quite a bit of time to sift through different adverts and discover which roles are most suited to your skill set and where you are now with your career. You can also see that it will take some time to identify what skills are required for particular jobs and also to understand what kind of application process is most commonly asked for the kind of role you want to apply for. Some employers or career sectors, it's really common for it to be a CV, but lots of graduate employers actually prefer for you to complete an application form and won't need for you to complete a CV for them. So taking the time to properly read over these things can save you time in the long run and give you lots of hints and tips for the rest of the recruitment process to make sure you're prepared for the interviews and things as well.